now day 6, which was today. I woke up and I immediately felt sick to my stomach, so I got up and I took some Phenergan, and I waited for my stomach to calm down, and then I ate some breakfast. And I noticed that I was incredibly hungry. The night before, on day 5, when we came home, we actually had steak dinner, which was to die for. I ate half of my steak. I ate quite a bit. So my appetite really hasn't decreased that much. But we went ahead and on day 6, we had an appointment at 2 o'clock in the inpatient-outpatient center. And so we went there, and we weren't sure what to expect because we'd heard a lot of different speculation about how long we would be there. We weren't sure if it was going to last, you know, for a couple hours or for up to 12 hours. We had been told up to 12 hours. And so we weren't sure, but as soon as we walked in, one of the nurses came over. She had me sit down. She took my blood pressure. She took my temperature. She made sure that all my vitals were good. They took my oxygen levels. And then at that point, she took more blood from my Hickman, so she didn't have to stick me, thankfully. And then we just waited for the lab results to come back. And so today, as of right now, my white cell blood count is at 4860, so 4,860 white blood cells. And then my platelet count is at 217. Now, one thing to note is for women who are still menstruating, they will give you a shot or a pill, depending on how close you are to your period, in order to stop it, just because the blood platelet count, that's kind of important, and they don't want you to start bleeding just because they may need to give you platelet infusions. And so they did do that on the final day before I left. So they gave me a shot with a rather large needle, but it really wasn't that bad at all. And I don't know if that's just because I have numbness over most of my body, but I mean, I felt it go in, but it wasn't too bad or too sore after that. Today, I have noticed that I've got a lot more bone pain in my hips and my joints, but my husband and I, we went to Walmart, and we walked around for a couple hours there. We went and ate at Chick-fil-A. I've been eating about 3 to 4 meals a day. I try and eat in small quantities, and then as soon as I'm full, then I stop eating. I'm trying to eat nutrient-dense foods. One thing I have added is Ensure to my diet, just to make sure that I'm giving my body whatever nutrients it needs in order to keep going, and also I take a multivitamin every day. So at this point, I had a really, really fabulous day. I woke up a little bit hungover this morning, and that's pretty much, it's not a bad hangover, like ones where you can't even turn on the lights. It's just more of, you feel like you drank some bad vodka the night before and you're a little bit dehydrated, and just kind of that icky sensation. But as soon as I took my pills, then it went away, and I had enough energy to get through the day and not only go to my doctor's appointment, but also go to Walmart and run around there for about 3 hours. And I would advise you, wear a mask wherever you possibly can, because it will keep you a lot more comfortable and make you feel a lot more safe. Make sure that you're very germ wary. Wash your hands often. Even I scrub underneath my nails every time I wash them, and I get in between my fingers and on top and everywhere else. But just make sure that you have antibacterial, Purell, Germ-X. I prefer the Bath & Body Works kind, just because it smells good, and so during the treatments, if the smell of lunch or anything was overpowering and making me too nauseated, I'd sit there and I'd put my hand in front of my face and smell the stuff from Bath & Body Works, like the sweet pea, and I could tolerate it a lot better. But I woke up, I had a lot of energy, I had a clear head for the first time in 10 years, this morning, and it was very, very strange and odd, I will have to admit, because I didn't realize what a mental fog I was in until it had been lifted. So, just so you know, I'm going strong. I've cleaned a bathroom today. I went to Walmart. Been running around all day. I talked with my kids on the webcam. So everything is absolutely fantastic. And they tell you that you're going to be really, really sick for 9 days when you're initially starting the process. For me, that wasn't necessarily the case. The second day for me was the worst. And then the third or fourth days was more of the headachy nausea. But with the pills that they gave me, I didn't experience too much discomfort that way. The worst part about staying in the hospital was the fact that you couldn't sleep and that there was constant clicking because they're constantly putting more fluids into your body. But thus far, that has been my experience. So we will have to see what happens when my blood counts hit 0 and my immune system goes out, and then they will start me on a drug that will reawaken my stem cells and start making new bone marrow, and hopefully it will complete its main objective, which is to put me into some type of long-term remission. So we will have to see. But overall, those 4 days of misery was definitely worth today, because today was fantastic and I never thought that I would feel this good ever again. So thank you for listening, and to everybody, family and friends, I love you.